And that's how it goes on the Galaxy's Edge podcast. My name is Walt, and we are going to be talking everything in and around the edge of the Galaxy's Edge series of books by Jason Onspach and Nick Cole. Joining me today is my frequent co-pilot, Dark Ops 0117 Swordfish.
Hey, can we go back to the intro music because it just hits so hard at just the right, moment.
Really?
I'm kidding.
Kidding. Rocking and rolling, but we had a
Cops and Robs, Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah.
We had a loss in the Galaxy's Edge community today. I'm very broken to report that Sparky's mustache is gone.
It's only mission action. It could be recovered still. He'll probably come back even bushier and more magnificent than ever.
I gotta say, Sparky has that whole look of like the goblin, it's just scurrying around in the dungeon, stealing things. Yeah,
that's about right. It's not stealing; it's liberating.
Well, I mean, like I said, it really caught me off guard tonight.
I know you seemed a little horrified.
I was having a hard time. I mean, 1 minute you're go ahead.
Well, I keep your life interesting between this and asking for a 4E version of the Kickstarter.
No, don't do that. I mean, 5 minutes ago, this is what Sparky looked like, and now we got nothing. But helping us round out things on the numbers side of the house, we have CPA 0001 Omachi.
Well, you should play Money, Money, Money as my theme song if Swordfish is coming in on his.
No theme songs. But if we did have a theme song, it would probably be what is it? Hulk Hogan's "I Am an American," being played by J.R. Hanley.
J.R.
You don't want me to sing. That would be like break your ears. The podcast would die. Everyone would die. The world would end.
It would get weird, right?
It'd get weird.
Oh my God! The chat is already firing up. Cliff, I see you. I hear you. Don't know if this is the right forum, but we'll see what trouble we can get into. Noob K, rocking and rolling the 8-bit and beyond. How you doing, sir?
Howdy.
We have Dark Ops 93 Bubba joining us.
I'm literally like 3 minutes from home. I will be on a better microphone soon.
This guy understands the importance of showing up for the podcast.
Right, absolutely. We have FH 6404 Oddball.
Rocking a mustache that I literally just took a picture of 5 minutes before the show and threw it on here to commemorate the loss of Sparky's mustache.
Yeah,
it hurt us all.
Up to.
Well, I don't understand the. Ken is saying, "Can JR do an impression of Ernest P. Worrell?" Now I got it. Okay. I was like, "Huh, Ernest P." Oh,
JR, can you do an Ernest impression?
I had to Google who he was, so no. I mean, maybe if I listened for a little bit, and I recognize his face when I saw it, but it might need some prep work for that.
Let me tell you about this, Vern.
You can't just drop that on me. You got to give me some prep time, right?
All right. Speaking of prep time, our featured insider, Dark Ops 1320 Selector.
Yeah, no prep time needed. And tactical acquisition is, in fact, the name of the game.
Absolutely. You know what OSP stands for, right?
No, do explain.
On-site procurement.
There you go.
Yeah, hell yeah. Different terms for different decades. Seeing as I served with the guys with the pointy hats crossing the Potomac, Daniel's going to take over and talk about Discord.
Yeah, so all good things happening. We got a lot of people that are finishing up remains and getting shaking their fists at this guy's cursing Jason and Nick for their decisions. We also got people posting pictures of their pets, as always. We're getting more information back on the Oba Cafe meetup survey, which is great. So far, like what I see so far. Oh, look at that. Angry was already on it. So far, we're looking at 41 responses, and that translates into about, 65 people saying that they may be able to show up. Now, that's a pretty good number. Daya was saying that she was aiming for like 75, but I still would like to try to push to 150. So if people could please go to the survey link in the announcements and go do that and get us some more information so that we can, really plan out this meetup as best we can, that'd be fantastic. You're muted, Boomer.
You're muted.
Dog. See, it happens to me on air. Everybody else, it's off air, but when it happens to me, it's always on air. What kind of things can people expect coming to the meetup?
All right, so depending on who is available, because it's really counting on what skills people we have available. Like for instance, you, Matt, Doc Spears, people like that. We're hoping to teach some tactical classes, like squad-based tactics, like Doc Spears does for some of his groups if he's available. You can maybe point and laugh as you get, huh?
Baking.
Yeah. Oh, baking.
Cooking.
Baking.
Yeah.
Grill off.
Yeah. Baking is. Cooking is definitely something, but I was thinking that you could make some pretzels out of people because you still got the skill. You're short, and you can just do it. Yeah. Definitely Airsoft, and Bubba can actually talk about that because Bubba and another, who's the other guy? It's Guns that are kind of thinking of the ideas for the Airsoft stuff. So, Bubba, go ahead and talk about what you guys got so far.
Tactical thermonuclear BB gun? What are we talking?
Oh, okay, he's probably swapping mics.
It sounded like he was falling down a set of stairs. You all right, Bubba?
Assaulting the stairs, not falling.
Negative
down
contact.
Go with his face.
Okay, I'll just bounce over. So, wait. Oh, did he get it fixed? Hello?
Yeah.
Sounds like he was just groped.
Whoa.
No,
Nice.
I had it set to my Oculus, and I just swapped over to my headset, and you were real loud.
That's what we do.
God.
Yeah, so Bubba, can you talk about what plans you got so far or suggestions for the Airsoft portion of it?
Yes, allow me to pull it up, because my memory sucks, because, Savage Brain ages terribly.
You need
right.
more burger.
Well, ironically, I had a burger on my way home.
Between Reno and Rome?
No. Sadly. All right,
Done.
so
Meet up.
I had I won't be able to make it, but I did have an idea for the Airsoft event at the meetup. So I figured 3 30-minute sessions of attack and defend CTF kind situation. You have one side playing Liege, one side playing Coob, and it's kind of like an impromptu version of Kirkek Ridge. Legion has 30 minutes to capture the point and hold for 5, while the Coobs defend it from the Legion assault, and they have to make it last the entire 30 minutes. Best 2 out of 3 rounds wins. If they each, there's going to be a third tiebreaker, but if it's decided in 2, that just turns into a free-for-all. Simple, easy. Don't know how many people are going to be there for it. And kind of just got to figure out the rules on weaponry allowed, auto or semi being limited. And then just
safety waivers.
Safety waivers being a big deal.
I've got a question.
Make it real ladder. You're not real Legis.
What about those of us who don't have airsoft weaponry? Would you be providing that? Or would some be available for rental?
I do not know.
So on that, as soon as I get some more information from the survey and what numbers that we're going to be looking at for people, I can take that information and I can go to my local airsoft groups or ranges, and I can be like, hey, would you be willing to sponsor this event and come out and have some loaner gear for people? And I could work it that way. And then maybe even get it under Nick and Jason's eyes, and we can do some cross promotional stuff that way too. Kind of like what Kale is doing for the meetup or the Airsoft event in his area, which is going
Which
to be
I am a part of
September.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's the reason why I can't make it to the meetup is because I'm going to that one.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got a lot of plans going. It's we just need to really get some data going and figure out what the full scope is going to be.
So speaking of dates, do we know the time frame, or has that been narrowed down yet?
Yeah, it is narrowed down to the last 2 weekends of August of this year. So that'll be the 16th to the 18th, or the 26th to the 28th, if I recall off the top of my head. And no, I was wrong. It's the 19th to the 21st, or the 26th to the 28th. So yeah. Most people are actually aiming for, when I look at the meetup responses, I'm seeing a lot of people are favoring the last weekend of August, which is the 26th to 28th. So yeah.
So is there going to be like giant bonfires, and is everybody going to go like Lord of the Flies and paint mud in their faces and run into the woods and kill stuff and bring it back and eat it?
Sacrifices?
That is actually a fun thing. Yes, Saturday. Saturday.
Yes to all of it.
Yeah. No, that is actually a possibility. If people want, I've got fire pits, like at least 4 very large fire pits. I've got potato cannons that we can mount onto. They're like 6-7 feet tall abouts. We can mount them onto carriages essentially, and then we can do like a rapid fire, like who can load, get a spud flying as far as they can, on target as quick as they can, and we can turn into a nice little competition that way too.
Daniel, do you see the potential for folly in all of this? If Nick shows up, he will declare himself warlord and enlist all of you and try to take over the country.
That's and you're saying that like that's a bad thing.
I mean, me personal. I heard potato gun and carriage, and immediately went cube technical. So.
Yeah. Essentially, we could make some. We can make some cube technicals, and it'll be fantastic.
And speaking of technicals, I think it's time for me to ask some selectors some questions.
Yeah,
so
I mean.
Wow, what a blunt segue.
That blunt force segment.
Wow.
Daniel got voluntold.
He rolled over somebody in a technical on that segue. Holy shit.
Yeah. No, I'm still working on it.
I'll get the
one day, right? What I'm going to do is, Omachi, you're in Texas, right?
Yeah.
One thing I love about Texas is you guys have helicopter hog hunting, right? And so one day I'm going to grab my little bro. We're going to come out there. I'm going to grab you. We're going to get in the helicopter. We're going to shoot some pigs. We're going to roast them over an open fire, and then we're going to eat them like crazy. And then the next Galaxy's Edge show we have, right? You're going to come on this show and be like, all right, sucker. Listen, this is how this is going to roll, right? I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to answer them. And when I'm done, we're going to all be better for it. You hear me, huh? Right? You're going to talk like that. It's going to be awesome.
All right, I'm ready for your training.
All right. Let's talk about our featured insider.
All right, selector. Who are you, and what is on your wanted posters?
Okay, you're gonna have to play this game with me. I haven't watched many of these podcasts, so.
Oh, you're all good.
No,
I never watched a single one whenever I had my intro.
Oh boy. Who am I?
What's on your wanted poster?
So if there was a wanted poster
question
hanging,
mark, because I have never been seen. A random bullet hole through a window. That's his calling card. There's just a dead body in a hole somewhere where the bullet came through.
All right. So, how did you get into GE?
GE popped up, believe it or not, on Facebook, and I pick up books that I find and just read them, like cover to cover, in a day, whatever. And GE really hit me because I'm not military. My entire family's military except for me. But it was one of those things, like I've always heard the stories and blah, blah. My brother spent time in Afghanistan. My dad's a Gulf War tanker. So, just reading the stories, I was like, wow, this is like on point. Everything here ties up. It's fantastic. And I just found myself on Amazon just going, oh, next book, next book, and then I'm like, oh, here's a $60 credit card bill. Crap. I guess I like this series.
Yeah, I had the same feeling when I bought the hardcovers. So what was it about the first book that drew you to it when you were on Facebook?
You talking about the first book that I read?
Yes.
I actually read oh crap, which book did I read first? Legionnaire. Because that was the one that popped up in the Facebook ad all the time. So I read Legionnaire and then heard about all the Coob stuff going on. But the storyline that really sucked me in and locked me down was Keel and his, bounty hunter ways. So,
all right. And have you read all the books yet?
I have not. I'm still working on it. Unfortunately, in my real world, I'm a machinist for an aerospace company, and all the stuff that's going on in the world right now has made it where I don't get much free time. I kind of come home from work and faceplant and wake up and go make more UAV parts and stuff like that. So,
sorry.
Giggle all
awesome.
you want. Awesome. I love making stuff in a mill that I'm like, this could potentially not be anything besides dust in 2 weeks. So,
I have the very
just casually makes a Reaper drone.
What, dude? MQ9. We make all of them. Global Hawk.
Do they let you fly them? Asking for a friend.
No, they do not let me fly anything because I spent time in simulators and it's not pretty.
Probably good. We've all played Star Fox. Mechanics don't do good as pilots.
Yeah, skew mode.
So do you read them or do you listen to them?
I read them. So because it lets me just kind of stop and drop it right where I am at and pick it back up. Audiobooks, I kind of, if I'm listening to somebody talk, I got to have a minute to get back into like the swing of the story. If I'm reading, I can just back up a page, start reading in my, I pick it up much quicker that way.
All right. And do you have a favorite book so far?
It's actually not from GE, my favorite book that I've read from being on here. It's the new Forgotten Ruin book, or not the Forgotten
right on.
Ruin.
Yeah, there we go.
So that storyline much more ties in because I'm a big old D&D nerd. So watching Marines and Rangers just like freaking smoke guys with swords is like, that's awesome. And then you realize that logistics is a gigantic nightmare. So you're like,
well, now I'm gonna have to follow up with that. Are you all caught up on Forgotten Ruins?
No, I'm not caught up on anything.
Jeez, Selector, you are absolute objective trash, and the only way you can redeem that is, have you gotten into the Kickstarter yet for Forgotten Ruin?
Not only did I get into the Kickstarter, I bought the NCO's book, I bought the NCO package, the dice, the tray, the map. So yeah, I'm in.
This guy knows.
Right, he has been.
This guy knows.
Nerd.
So
we appreciate your support.
Yeah.
Kennedy mentioned this. So is your favorite character Keel?
Yeah, he is.
Do you have a side character that follows up?
Second favorite, although he died way too soon, would be 20s. I know, different storyline, but
who's your favorite run?
What about in Forgotten Ruins? Who's your favorite character in that?
You guys are asking me to remember names. I remember numbers. I can tell you the exact number of thousands that are in.
You know who his favorite character was because he has that description in his head. The first Medusa that Talker met up with.
You talking to Selector, or are you talking to somebody else? Selector, did that hit you pretty hard?
Yeah, it was a little rough. All these books, they unfortunately, I start reading and I put a universe together and it just all blends into one. I just kind of pick the next book and go and go and go. So I have the storyline, but it's hard for me to divide back out separate books. But I'm one of those guys that'll just like quick reference the SRD and go back to where I need to go. So
all right, before we go any further, I have to I love him like crazy, so take that with a grain of salt. Well, Machi, I get the idea that if you were motivated, that you would release amoebic dysentery on a spaceship to prove a point as you sat on cases of water. That jacket screams questionable morals.
Oh no! Now I actually see it.
What's that?
Guys, he's the corporate officer from the Aliens movies.
I'm not
Yeah.
that bad.
Oh, Burke? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corporations have feelings too.
No, they
See,
don't.
he is. I knew it. He's gonna be the guy that like throws us into a cell with a canister of nanomachines and be like, "Hey, open up that can for reasons, please."
Hey, you
Let's see
thirsty?
what it does.
Yeah, touch
Drink
the
this
wet egg
glass.
for reasons.
Like, what if we gave that to a paying customer? That'd be no good.
Oh my God. Just repeat after me. Whoa, whoa, whoa! This place has a substantial dollar value.
Yeah.
Everything has a dollar value, including you.
Keep going, Omachi. Keep
All
going.
right.
Bring us home.
So, So I think you already mentioned what trouble you get into the pages with those parts. So, what would you like to see more from GE and Forgotten Ruins?
More of everything. GE. I would like to see more expansion of the Ford Keel storyline. Just more of it. So if there's something in here that has ended tragically, because I have not read all the books and everybody kind of stopped and looked funny. So if that storyline ended abruptly, don't tell me. But no, other than that, it's all fantastic. I love reading it when I get a chance. Unfortunately, I'm the noob that's read actually, I'm looking at my Kindle history right now. I've read Legionnaire. I've read all of Chasing the Dragon, Requiem for Medusa, that series. I started into the Savage Wars. Strange Company was an excellent book. I love that.
Right? That was really good.
But the other thing is books that don't come out in linear order mess with me, so I really got to go through and read everything chronologically again, and that'll fix it in my head appropriately.
Gotcha.
But I'm working at that. So,
all right.
Reference to Strange Company. Don't look at the bats.
Don't look at the bats.
Oh my God, yeah.
And dude,
Like,
that little girl with her pet nightmare.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
Just Doom song as soon as he shows up.
Hey,
Right?
we're gonna kick the valve off a container of gaseous LSD, and then we're gonna let the thing that's an actual psycho monster loose with you, and you get to fight through it all. I hope your pro mask sealed well.
Said no army ever.
Yeah. This is why you're not allowed to have a beard, said the bat with 5 wings.
Right? That would be just our luck. We'd be out there, sniffing all the green gas, and next thing you know, you turn to your buddy, and he's like a 4.5, 5 foot tall cockroach, and he's like, dude, are you seeing this? And the only thing you can just do is north south, north south. Just be like, just face that way, don't look.
The whole I'm up, he sees me, I'm down.
Down.
When you're bounding for cover, and it's I'm up, he sees me, and the drugs took hold.
Yep. Elvis knows what we're talking about.
There you go.
Elvis knows where the strange land.
Yeah, hell yeah. Did you guys see the cover for the Strange Company second book?
I have not.
All I got to say
No.
is I'll be in my punk.
Yeah, right. Oh, so good. I
haven't seen it.
I don't know if they released it to the. Let me check. I'll check the fan club.
What they have released
they
is that
did.
epic shirt Nick got designed. Have you seen in the patches?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I
those
gotta
are
lose
dope.
some more weight so that I can buy that crap because that looks amazing.
Why they don't have your size, bro?
I don't know. Most places that say they have the larger sizes, they actually they shrink really bad. So
Yeah, I went to
Right
get
on.
that N4 with Galaxy's a Dumpster Fire, and I was like, oh, you don't have my size. I was like, I want this.
I'm
Nick
not. You don't
said
have
he's-
my size guy either, but I have to generally refer to Ahmed the tent maker when I need my shirts made. So,
Well, Nick actually addressed this during the big lift back in December. He said that he intentionally didn't take them but so big because he wanted you to buy a size too small so you were motivated to get your ass lifting plates.
hey man, I started a diet. I've lost 18 pounds in 2 weeks, and I'm keeping cranking on
All
it.
right, good
so,
for you.
Good on you. I need to get back on my diet too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it. I mean, didn't you just do the Big Lift, Big Die finishing podcast last week?
Yeah.
Badger?
Yeah, that was actually a lot of fun. Those boys are super motivated, which is really awesome. They went and they shouted out all the winners. I guess some of the prizes, there was a discrepancy in when the prizes would be arriving. So some of those prizes that they announced were going to be shifted over to the summer competition. If you don't know, Big Lift Big Die is members of the Galaxy's Edge Discord community mostly, but it encompasses everybody. If you're on the Signal or if you're on Telegram, if you're in the Facebook community, doesn't matter, right? If you want to compete and you want to try out, it's cool. It's just a big competition where people are competing to motivate each other, not necessarily to put each other down, but to lift each other up. Stack some plates, get in shape, get fit, do that kind of stuff, because what they're trying to do is they realize that as we mostly said. Reading is a sedentary event in most cases, unless you're, you got it strapped into your ear holes and you're like running, or, you're being chased by the cops, or, whatever you do in your spare time. But reading is mostly a sedentary event. So in order to combat that, a lot of guys getting together and being like, hey, look, we like to lift heavy stuff, pick it up, put it down, and slam some plates. Please do it with us so that we can have you around for a long time, so we all have somebody to talk about these books with. So it's a really, really, really cool batch of dudes. You got Cody basically like spearheading, and former Marine just like really laying it down on everybody. Like, come on, you knuckleheads, let's lift some stuff, And then you got Ornstein, which is putting out a lot of advice and keeping people motivated. So I mean, you got Steve that's also like kind of helping people to keep track of things. So you got this core group of guys who are just fitted together and kind of motivating each other, which is really cool to have like a group like that in a community like this, because you can see it out there. You got that one knucklehead sitting in a gym, and they're like, I'm taking pictures for my Instagram, and what they're really doing is they're filming dudes in the behind them who might not be as like adept in the gym as they are. So and then they put them on Instagram making fun of them and stuff. That's not cool, right? So instead they wanted to provide a place where if you haven't worked out before, or even if you had, get together, throw some love, drop some knowledge, everybody learns, everybody packs on some size around those biceps, maybe loses a couple of inches around something you don't want to have. And then it was really a good time, and it was really cool to talk to those guys. Have any of you guys participated?
I haven't participated, but I have seen firsthand exactly how they operate in Discord, because as soon as somebody new says anything in the Obsidian Crow workout bay, you got Ornstein that says, hey, first time I've seen here, welcome. I'm Ornstein. I'd like to help you out if you need anything. You got a great group of people here that'll help you out, and everybody else will welcome that person in. So it's a really great community that we have, taking care of new people that are just trying to see, like, oh, maybe I could get in better shape, or I'd like to lose some weight, or get some more definition on my muscles.
And that's the thing too. It's very targeted for the media that we kind of base this culture around, because the Legion is kind of loosely based on certain units in the United States Army. And these guys, if you look at them, they're straight up tyrannosquids. I mean, they get up in the morning, and like you go to like a normal unit and people are all like, oh, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this to my life? But then you got like these guys, and they're like, what am I doing here? And the guy next to him goes, we're here to smoke some dudes. And it's like, oh yes, that's right, I am a shark. And you know what sharks do? We eat people. And then they go out and they just bust plates until like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, starting at like 6. They'll get cleaned up, drop some food, ingest those calories, and then they're out training all day long. And that's the culture that these books kind of center around, except for Lau Pak, because he's not doing that.
You said Lau Pak. You got to do his voice.
Impression. Is that the rule?
We need to have a selector do his impression.
Does Selector do a Lau Pak impression?
Lau Pak live a best lifestyle ever.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Awesome.
Very good.
So in the movie, we are gonna get Ken Jeong to play Lao Pak, right?
Dude,
Only if we're lucky.
I read Lao Pak's like all the crap that he does, like in the books that I've read so far, and I'm like, you know who does this? He's like, "What's up, gay boys?" As he pops out of the trunk naked. Yeah, that's a 1-for-1 comparison.
Oh my god, he would be cool though as Lao Pak though.
He would.
He would be awesome. You know,
Like I came to that grouping of like, oh yes, get Ken Jeong, but my initial one was the guy who played oh crap, Big Trouble in Little China villain.
Oh, you're talking about the oh wow, he's older now though.
I know,
yeah,
but his voice still popped in my head.
And that's the thing too. That voice is super recognizable. Like if you grew up in the '80s and then '90s and even in the early 2000s, you know, if there was like a certain villain or whatever,
Action
90% of the
movies.
time, action movie, he was the guy, and that voice is super recognizable. He's actually a pretty a pretty chill dude in real life too. You know, but yeah, that voice that would make it. That would be definitely pretty dope. But yeah. Speaking of pretty dope, I am going to take my blunt force segue because that is how we do around here. And I'm just going to take a minute and on behalf of our guys, the Emperors, I'm going to talk about the Forgotten Ruin Kickstarter that we have going on for the role-playing game. Dude,
wait.
Smashed 25,000. You guys are awesome. And we just launched a week ago today. This is fantastic. You guys as a community are crushing it. Thank you. But yeah, we got some more stretch goals we're going to announce, as well as some freebies coming up. There's going to be a free introductory adventure, easy to learn, easy to play, dropping middle of the week next week. Cool. So you'll get that. There's going to be some more content added to the book. It's going to be pretty wild. If you didn't know, we had Angry Cops doing our video, which was hysterical.
I was just about to say that's actually what sold me on it because, as usual, I'm completely oblivious to everything going on around me until it's somebody I know, and then Angry Cops posts a video, and I was like, "This needs my money."
So speaking of money, well, I got a question. This is serious business. So Omachi, theoretically, we buy this Forgotten Ruin Kickstarter. Can we deduct it from our taxes? Asking for a friend.
Yeah, it's wait, if you buy it.
Yeah.
So if he buys into if he
research,
donates.
right? Yeah, if we donate, it's research, right? Totally tax deductible.
I mean, there are ways you could do it. If you played it on like a podcast or something to advertise it, to show it off, its merits as some advertisement thing, then sure.
You could do it that way. You could say it's
Time
research.
for me to get a Forgotten Ruin Twitch stream going.
I already got that down.
So now here's my question.
Yes.
Given that we launched this Kickstarter almost exactly a week ago, and we already blew past its initial goal, and then we've like ripped right past all the original stretch goals to the point where you had to go be like, oh crap, I have to work some more, and then you made some more. When are we going to possibly be seeing the Forgotten Ruin Kickstarter or the Forgotten Ruin thing actually being produced and sent out to people? Like what? I forget if it says when there's an estimate.
The target date is right there, amigo. June.
Okay. Yeah. So when that pops in June, like how much time between this finishing and June will it take for you guys basically to just get it going, and then you don't have to do anything with it until June?
So right now we have the books done, right? You got a copy that's missing content, right? There's tons of stuff that's missing, like the forward's missing, table of contents, and the reason you don't do that in the beginning is because as you keep adding stuff, right, and there's always the potential to add stuff during a Kickstarter. If you already set your table of contents, something say like, all right, so we have to add in Jabba's Moon God Potion. Right?
Yes.
We need official Jabba Moon God Potion, the stats on it, how it works, blah blah blah. Right. So now that could end up between this page and this page, and if it does, anything past this page
It's now screwed up.
is now screwed up. Right.
Can't set a roadmap for something you might expand.
Exactly. So the copy you guys have right now, you guys have stuff that's intentionally missing. Now we did that for two reasons. Number one, there will be people who will jump into the Kickstarter for $1 and get the playtest copy, and then right before the bell sounds, they'll withdraw their pledge for that $1 because they don't want to support it. They just wanted the book. So for those people, you got an incomplete copy for your $1, and it is very much playable. Enjoy it, blah blah blah. But yeah, if you want the real thing, you got to come.
Yeah, stay in.
So there's that. But the book's done. I really don't have to do that. The only thing I have to do is like stupid little page assignment stuff before I hand it over to the formatter, and then there's also the character pack. So that's something I'm going to have to put together. So that's roughly 30 people.
I'm one of them.
Bought in it. Hey. Who bought into tiers. So you will get to design your own operator, soldier, sailor, airman, or marine to put into this character pack so that people who want to just jump in and play can take the character you designed and just...
No, it's a pre-roll. That's pretty sweet.
Right?
Okay.
So it's both. It's an NPC that can be used in game, and it's also a pre-gen if you want it. It's going to have the ability to do both. Right? What was your question, Bubba?
Okay, so me, Auric, and Kale were all kind of like wondering what the premise was, and I was like trying to decide on what I wanted my character to be, and I came up with a Navy gunner's mate who is actually an arms dealer in the ruin. That's what I came up with.
Perfect. Cool. Do not lose that.
Don't lose. Okay.
Do not lose that.
So maybe send Badger a DM with that information, so that way he doesn't have to work hard.
So, but I mean, like we've had one person, before they pledged, contacted me and like, hi, I'm a lady. Can I have a female character? And it's like, read the first part of the book, come back and talk to me. Right. So she read the first part of the book, came back and was like, all right, cool. Yeah, there are female operators and blah, blah, blah. And that's cool. The character I want to design is a supply sergeant who turns into a witch and then curses people when they hand in dirty weapons.
That's solid.
I'm like, she still be bribed with a 20?
Shit, I don't know. If it helps pay for the tier, I'm sure she wouldn't mind. Right? But I was like, dude, that is rock solid. I love it. Send me the concept. We'll make sure it gets taken care of. Right. But yeah. I mean, there was a lot of stuff in the beginning where that stuff has to still get handled. So that's going to be after the Kickstarter ends and everybody's all locked into place. We don't have to worry about chasing people for, filling out stuff. It's going to be roughly 30 people, and you're going to have this big character pack where all these characters can be used in the game. They can be for anything, right? I had one guy that he said, "Does it have to be a soldier?" And I said, "Well, give me your concept. Let me hear what you say, what you want." And he's like, "I want to be the dirty, no good, beaten down goblin that's actually the info broker for the Rangers." He flips on everybody because everybody's beating him. The orcs beat him, so he gives the Rangers intel on the orcs. The goblins beat him, so he gives them, and like he does that in return for Twizzlers.
Yeah. That's an easy fucking give me.
I said no problem.
Twizzlers.
I said I got no problem with that, and then I said I said now normally goblins are not really playable because they're too crazy and all over the place. But we will make this character for you because that character concept is awesome.
I mean, they speak a language, so according to 5E's rules, they're sentient.
Oh yeah, well we can't go with 5e.
So
I
what-
know,
what
I know.
tier gets you? What tier gets you a character design?
What do you mean?
You said there's a tier where people can buy it. So what's the buy-in for people that wanted to do that?
Sold out.
There isn't one. It's all sold out. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait for the next Kickstarter.
Trust me, JR, I tried. I refreshed and it just wouldn't happen.
Which that brings me to my actual intentional question, because that's what I was waiting on. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of work once we get the Kickstarter finished by the end of this month, and it's pretty much on autopilot. So, do you think in April, with the success of the Forgotten Ruin Kickstarter, that we can get the Galaxy's Edge RPG Kickstarter fired then?
So it's slotted for the end of the year, right? And here's why. Kickstarter, due to creators in the beginning, right around 2012 to about 2015, creators, what they were doing is they were dropping a Kickstarter, funding it, waiting a month, dropping a Kickstarter, funding it, and then like they were 3 Kickstarters deep and they hadn't even fulfilled the first one yet. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people lost money.
Yeah.
So now there's a rule where you have to fulfill the primary goal of the Kickstarter, not necessarily the stretch goals, but you have to permit whatever you promised in the beginning, hence the book, the game book, that has to drop to your backers before you can start another one. Right. So we didn't want to just launch this right on the back of another one. Right. So it does 2 things to have it later on in the year. Number one, it gives people time to, put a little more in their wallet in case they want to go really deep on the Galaxy's Edge version. And then thing number 2, right, it allows us to meet that requirement, get people their stuff, because there's always going to be problems, especially with the way the supply chains are going right now. There's always going to be problems. Jason and Nick are printing as much in-house as they can. So normally when I run a Kickstarter like this, everything's done through a third-party company, and even the printing's done through a third-party company. I don't even have to like rent warehouse space or anything to drop a whole load of books. Jason and Nick are going to have that stuff as much handled in-house as they can, and then ship it to you as soon as they get it. It's going to be rock and roll, cops and robbers, Dunkin' Donuts. So we're really excited about it, and we're really excited that you got the mass combat rules. So now, we can start bringing little extra add-ons. So if you wanted to add on to your pledge, you can do that. There might be a possibility of minis involved.
Oh my God, minis!
Yeah,
don't we know a guy who does it?
We do. We absolutely do. One of the things with that's kind of fun about miniatures is that you can get some pretty crazy designs going.
Can I actually make a suggestion about that?
Yeah,
I know a miniature we should have.
What? Whoa, one at a time, guys.
Hold on a second.
Go ahead, Selector.
So being a D&D player like I am, one of my absolute favorite things about Hero Forge that they'll do is they'll let you build your mini and then download for a 3D print for a set fee. That I think that's the ideal way to do minis these days, because literally everybody, including the biggest jock that just crawled out from under a rock, knows somebody with a 3D printer.
Yeah.
So, and that limits your overhead on that so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everyone.
Yeah. So one of the things that we work with a professional modeler, several, and while some of those models they will print for us so that we can just ship them to you, the STL files are prohibitively expensive, and to give you those we would have to create a tier to actually get you those STL files. So
I know guys that'll pay it.
yeah. So like we would need roughly, because of licensing, we would, from this particular modeler, we would need a lot of money.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not gonna-
I mean, trust me, I deal with 3D models all the time in my job.
Oh
So
yeah.
I have
Oh, yeah.
stuff that I got to sign out and then sign back in, and I can't ever hard store it anywhere besides having it signed out while I'm working on it. So
Right on.
I've got another question. Is
Yep.
the well, two. One, are the books in hardcover or softcover?
They are now.
Oh, awesome.
They're going to be fantastic.
And
So
two,
at the $12,000 level, once we hit $12,000, so we have stretch goals. Our original goal was $7,500 to produce the book. That's writing, art, layout, and then production. So at 8,000, we got more art, and then it kept going and going. If you are interested in the Galaxy's Edge game that's coming out later in the year, the same system that we use for that has been unlocked for this. So there is going to be a version of that. But at 12,000, the special edition hardcover was unlocked. So we're still working on what size we want, because the expected size originally was about this big. So that's 6x9, and this one's a 6x9 with a 300 page count, right? So it's pretty beefy. But the great part about it is sling it into a backpack, throw it in your cargo pocket, whatever. It's small enough to fit. We can produce a much thinner book, much taller, keeping with standard like role playing game design,
PHB sized.
Yeah, exactly. But that's all. That's something we got to work out along the way. So we'll see when we get closer to production. So what's it smell like? The book?
It smells like greatness.
So, speaking of smells like and the book itself, can we get a special
It
edition?
probably smells like coffee and Moon God potion.
there we go.
You're not lying.
Can
What's
we
the
get
special?
where it's upside down in its binding?
Why's that?
Wizards did it with the PHB for 5e, and it was like they had a run of them where when you opened the player handbook, it was the actual like core of the book itself was upside down in the cover, like backwards.
Okay.
And they sent like 10,000 of them out like that. I actually have 2 of them, and they're one of those weird things that ends up on eBay as collectible.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll do that.
It's just one of those. I'm checking your nerd creds, man, and you did not pass.
I do not pass. I do not go past 3rd edition D&D.
So you never fell into the Pathfinder trap. That's a good
Wait,
thing.
wait. You didn't go for 3.5? Because the 3.5 seemed okay.
3.5 was okay.
Yeah,
so
it turned into Pathfinder though with a billion options for everything.
Yeah, that was a little too math for me. Anytime I have to sit there and be like, look, guys, we have to stop the action and do math.
Yeah, we have to confirm the crit and then do the math.
Yeah,
F that noise.
So yeah, my nerd stops at about 2005.
My boss once yelled at me for making him do math on something.
Well, isn't that your job?
It's more applying tax law to stuff.
Yeah. So but yeah, the one of the big things that Jason and Nick have been talking about in regards to this is Jason and Nick really want to do the Forgotten Ruins source book, a hardcover, beautifully illustrated, fold out maps, like this is what's in the Forgotten Ruin, right? Perfect on your coffee table. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Right. Or could be used for the game. Totally blah, 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 yeah. So that's one of the things we're thinking about plotting in is dropping that in there and seeing what trouble we can get into. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, if you get a second, go on over. You can, if you just search for Forgotten Ruin on Kickstarter, it comes right up. And just give it a look. At the very least, just watch the video because that video is gold.
It's epic.
If you haven't heard or you didn't get the email, there is the Lay the Hate audiobook, the redone version. That's up on the Galaxy's Edge website. So you can go over there now and pick up a digital edition download. It's only going to be there for a hot minute before it goes to Audible. So this is a download. It's not a license, so you own it. You don't need an app. an official app to play it, but you can play it right through like BookFunnel, or you could play it through anything like VLC Player, Media Player, anything like that. It's straight MP3. You own it. It's yours. So if you want that on the quick and you don't want to wait for it to drop on Audible, you can go over and pick that up now. Very, very cool. There's also our good friend Pete Nealon, and we try not to judge because he is a Marine, but he's recon, so we'll take it. He's just a Ranger in the wrong uniform.
Sneaky crayons.
Right, you ain't lying. Where'd it go? There we go. So his latest book is up, the second in the Lost series. First was Ice and Monsters, and now we have Shadows and Crows. If you are into like things like Michael Crichton's Eaters of the Dead, which became 13th Warrior, or anything like that, this book rocks all the way around hard. It has one of the creepiest scenes I've read in a book in the last couple of years, and it's just fantastic. Oops, I'm showing my file, but yeah, it's really, really, really a good book. So if you get a chance, knock that onto your bookshelf, and run over and let Pete know that you read it and what you thought of it. And this series is just fantastic. I can't wait for you guys to get books 2 and 3 because they're really, really good.
Ice and Monsters made me late for work.
Right?
Dude, I started reading that book and literally read it 2.5 hours past where I wanted to, and then was like, crap. Now I got to go work.
You know what my favorite part is of how our Galaxy's Edge authors?
What's that?
The fact that they crank out books like they're doing straight up German tank chocolate from 1942.
Oh my god!
because honestly, they crank out so many books. Not only are they doing Galaxy's Edge, they're doing Forgotten Ruin, but they're also doing Wayward Galaxy and the serial. And Wayward Galaxy, for those that don't know, that's dropping mid this month, right?
That's 3, right?
Yeah, Wayward Galaxy 3.
So Wayward Galaxy 3 is dropping mid-month, 15th. Yep. That's doing that's the audio, right? You can get the book right now. 3 and 4 are out in digital, and you can get paperback, I believe, in both of those. The other day, Jason dropped. Did you guys see the cover for Galaxy's Edge? Wayward Galaxy number 5.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh my
God!
god!
I just don't remember it.
It was like electric sex chocolate. It was fantastic.
Electric sex chocolate,
dude.
It's a really shocking analogy,
right? I mean, it was. Hold on, I can find it. They did a great job on this cover, and basically, like, all the covers involve the android Brody, and Brody is constantly like acting like he's in a 1980s movie trailer.
You know what my favorite thing is the trailer that was dropped for Wayward Galaxy 2. Like, that makes me want to see us have straight up like mini series or something like that for all these books, just because the trailer was just so good.
It's really good.
Brody speaks to me as a person.
He is really, really, really a lot of fun, especially listening to R.C. Bray read him. Of course, citizen. That kind of deal.
Affirmative citizen.
He's just fantastic. Where'd it go? Yep, there. Nope, there it is. So here's the cover for 5.
A whole bunch of books are on sale right now for Audible.
On Audible,
Oh, that looks good.
So you can get them for like super cheap, but that looks dope as hell.
Yeah.
Right.
I like the neon Brody in the background. That looks sexy.
You know what that's a reference to?
Huh?
A really old movie. Tom Cruise, Cocktail.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, I see it.
Seen that in a while.
And then the way the number is written is the same way they used to write the numbers in Lethal Weapon.
Yep.
Yep, I remember that.
The 8-bit 5 in the visor is really
I love the 8-bit 5 in the visor. That's
right?
neat.
And the Tron lines.
Right? Yep, it's all in there. So, I mean, yeah, if you haven't read this series, Jason and Jeff are just crushing it. They're doing such a great job. Check it out because it's a lot of fun. There's I think they were going for 6 books, and yeah, so that's the fifth cover that they just dropped. So yeah, these guys are just slamming it down. So before we roll up the boarding ramp and kick the afterburners to launch into the deep dark black, Ken Foster wants to know, how come the Kickstarter doesn't offer free crayons?
I tried getting Walt to add in a stretch goal of I don't know,
Marine Corps
100
stretch
rounds.
goals?
Well,
the rounds.
Yeah, 100 rounds of 50 cal, just for the sake of it.
Good luck getting those, though.
Walt, I do have a stretch goal for you, but I don't want to say it publicly yet.
Nope. Yep.
Whoa.
Yep. No stretch goals to channel than the authors.
Oh, the stretch goal for the Hydra model.
Oh,
no,
from the back of the book.
But he doesn't want to say it yet, so we'll just say it afterwards.
Gotcha.
And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to say it when it's public.
Yeah, and the best thing about being an insider is that after every podcast, we have like usually 10, 15 minutes where you get to just, bullshit in the back room. So, just
before
saying.
and after.
Yeah.
So we want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us on the Galaxy's Edge podcast, the public broadcast that we put out at the beginning of every month. Don't forget to hang out on the Edge for the Galaxy's Edge Insider podcast, which goes out exclusively to our Galaxy's Edge insiders at the end of every month. So on behalf of the esteemed panel, Jason and Nick, and of course, Balder, don't eat me. We want to say thanks for everybody coming out, and we'll catch you next time on the Galaxy's Edge podcast.
Peace.